Well, it's important to note whilst we are working on getting Jason's audio to note that there's a BARS application demonstration that will be coming on. Why is this important? This is important because once you're able to sign on and, put in your details, it will give you the opportunity to give us good feedback. We need to hear from you. We need your comments on this year's conference. And so the only way we can hear from you, because we are talking technology, is to speak to us through the PropTech BARS app. And so we will be having a little demonstration.
So I'm just waiting confirmation if you can hear me.
Yes, Jason, we can hear you. Welcome, and please proceed.
Okay. Okay, I guess you can hear me now. So let's try this again. So Jason P. Jordan, President and CEO of the Legends International team at eXp Realty. We operate in 16 of the now 26, 27 country footprint of eXp Realty. We have been at really kind of the start of some of the global expansion of eXp. Today real estate has always been local, but technology has made global expansion scalable. And this is where PropTech kind of steps in and helps us come together. It's a super exciting time because when we take a look at emerging markets, the technology is coming together in such a way that will allow emerging markets to leap forward. And that's where I think that countries like Ghana and continents like Africa that have a lot of emerging markets have the opportunity to really kind of leap forward into and maybe leapfrog some markets that may have been more advanced in the past. In the past, expanding globally meant physical offices, legal complexities, and massive overhead. Right? I mean, you think about franchise structures and how they've been built in the past and all the layers of cost and then the time it would take to go somewhere, set up a physical office, and actually recruit in leadership, management, and agents to start a business. Today, simply we can launch into a country with cloud-based CRMs and start using technologies like Zoom, Google Meet, and others to start building trust and relationships. I really think that COVID-19 was a paradigm shift for the industry. I know that as a company at eXp Realty, we had a humongous growth that we had domestically in the US because everybody had the paradigm shift of I don't need a physical office in order to operate my real estate business. Now, if we fast forward today and we think about in countries using a lot of technology, we can use digital contracts, e-signatures to speed up those transactions. And if I think about today how we operate across multiple countries, we actually have the ability to do cross-border transactions by just leveraging the technology. Things with virtual tours, 3D walkthroughs. You could take a buyer from London who can view homes right there in Ghana without ever having to board a plane, right? If we think about cross-border listing platforms, like now you have an MLS in Ghana, right? So you have the ability to pull together buyers and sellers without actually having to leave your country. The buyers don't have to get on planes. So when I think about like when we first expanded into Portugal or Spain or even into India, right? It was a kind of a mind shift we had to help people make because they hadn't been using a lot of these pieces of technology. But now you fast forward 3 to 4 years, how many of you are doing multiple video conferences every week, right? Probably many of you. And this is a way that you can leverage the technology to help you build those relationships. Start by using social media networks, like how many of you have a LinkedIn profile, right? So you definitely should have LinkedIn, right? And that's how I started growing and expanding. And then I build a relationship, and then I bring somebody to a Zoom or Google Meet platform where we can meet and interact. This is really how you can use technology in order to start expanding your business internationally. Now, to expand, teams and expand brokerages, to be able to have some type of infrastructure to be able to do that. At eXp, we actually have a platform that we own called Frame, and that is the underlying platform that runs exp.world. This is a fully immersive 3D metaverse that we use for meetings, onboarding, training. We actually have about 2,000 plus employees that work in that environment on a daily basis, supporting our agents with their transactions, onboarding, trainings, etc. And then when you think about that, you can use CRMs, and we can actually leverage all kinds of different pieces of technology to build a technology stack. Now we have the ability to do sales and support while using technology. Now, when I got started building eXp on an international level, AI, large language models, and our AI agents weren't even a thing at that time. But now when I think about the ability to use AI like ChatGPT, or I look at Gemini or Grok or any of the other large language models or tools that you see today, you can now have meetings where you actually have your AI agents in there and translating for you live, real time. So this allows you to remove those language barriers. When we started expanding the Legends International team, we actually hired virtual assistants who could speak multiple languages. And we would have to wait for the translator to stop speaking before we could speak again. But today, with these technology tools, it allows us to speed up that process. When I think about the opportunity in Africa, I get really excited because I think about how you can leverage the technology. And I think about in Ghana how you have an MLS now, and there are so many countries that still don't have an MLS. Even some of the most advanced countries in the world, many countries. And by leveraging the concept of the MLS, the technology platform, you're going to be able to not only sell more property locally, but you'll be able to leverage this technology to sell those properties internationally. And I think that this is a great opportunity to grab the torch, run ahead and lead there in Africa. Don't wait for somebody else to do this. You've done it. You built it. Use it, right? Start showing everyone else on the continent how real estate really should be done, right? By leveraging the technology. Find ways to bring other people in, teach them, show them the technology, right? PropTech really is a passport to help you scale, to speed into new markets, to find new buyers, right? The virtual infrastructure will let you build a global team without borders, and I really believe Africa has the potential to lead in PropTech innovation, not just participate in it. So I have a few questions for all of you to think about, and I want you to take away from my conversation with you here today. And that is, what's the first PropTech tool that an African agent or brokerage should invest in? Right? So think about that. I would say that you already use it today, and that's your phone. That's the number one piece of technology that you should be using. The second thing that I would tell you is figure out a way to get organized and use a CRM that will integrate into your MLS and into all the technology that you can use, so you can start to automate some of the tasks that you do to make yourself more efficient. Now, the other thing I would say, and a question I want you to think about as I end here today, is how do you build trust digitally when you've never met a client or agent in person? And that is by creating video content. You need to be able to put yourself out there on the internet, onto the social media platforms. Educate, don't sell. Simply train people and teach them about how real estate is done in your market. And by producing enough content out there onto the social media channels that you already have, you'll be able to build that trust. And that's what I've done, and that's what I have shared with our team. So hopefully you're inspired there in Africa. Take a hold of the torch, run forward, start leading, and take advantage of the opportunity that you can't just lead, but you could leapfrog other countries around the world who still are trying to figure out whether they should have licenses or have an MLS. Thanks again for my time. Look forward to meeting you all at conferences in the future. Bye for now.
Thank you so much, Jason. Please let's acknowledge Jason. Jason, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Jason? Jason cannot hear us. Hello, Jason? Okay. Well, at least we heard Jason, right? And we got everything. We got a crust of everything he's been speaking about. So thank you so much, Jason. We do appreciate your time. Hopefully in subsequent editions, we will have you in person. Thank you for sharing those nuggets with us. We move on to another female personality who will be sharing with us some nuggets in future-proofing your firm, leveraging AI for unrivaled client engagement and growth. To help us delve into this conversation, I am ready, and I know you are also ready, to receive the CEO of Rima Integration Technologies in the person of Rashida Musa. She is here and ready. Please let's welcome her as she takes us through future-proofing for your firm. While Satet lunch is being put together, there are some snacks behind there. The protocol team will be coming seat by seat to usher you to have it. Thank you so much. Apologies for the unusual delays, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anything I need to know about this or the time? No, I'll probably stay still. Okay, thank you. Hi, hello, good afternoon, everyone. I know that today has been a wonderful day. There's been so much content over the last few days, and I'm excited to contribute to that conversation. Like our wonderful host has said here today, my name is Rashida Musa. I'm the CEO of Rima Integration Technologies, and what we do here is we actually help people, organizations, and professionals successfully integrate AI into their operations. We believe that education is the vehicle for AI adoption, so we host webinars, seminars, and different training sessions for individuals to get them to a level of proficiency using AI, as well as we do have a studio where we build AI automations and AI agents. And we actually build quite a lot for the real estate sector. So I'm quite excited today to take you through that. So we can start with the slides. Okay, fantastic. So I know over the past few days, we've been hearing this figure, $17 trillion is the market value of the real estate market. But how does AI actually impact that? So just next slide, please. Perfect. So these two pictures, obviously AI generated, demonstrate two realities for us here in Africa. We have a huge market opportunity with $17 trillion, and we also have a huge, massive deficit when it comes to housing. What if I propose that AI could actually be the system that can disrupt that and bridge those two entities together? So just to take a look at some of these numbers here. Who here is a real estate agent, by the way? Anyone? No? Okay. So if you're dealing with clients, on average, agents spend around 68% of their time doing admin work. That is something AI can actually help facilitate for you. So for instance, if you allowed an AI to handle your leads, you could actually convert leads 46% faster. And also, if you use artificial intelligence, you could reduce appraisal errors by 63%. And then on top of that, you have 60% of real estate agents or companies have reported an increase in revenue and operations with the integration of artificial intelligence. Next slide, please. Perfect. So what is AI? I know we've talked about it a lot, but can I get a show of hands who here fundamentally understands what artificial intelligence is? No one understands what artificial intelligence is. We've just been hearing the buzzwords. Okay, no problem. Well, AI is essentially it's a branch of computer science that effectively trains machines to think, act, and behave like humans. So that can be in identifying something, that could be in drafting something. And as we get into AI agents, that could be as much as performing entire business processes. So the three tiers here we have the AI, which is a predictive brain. So how it works is data is input, it's trained, there's an AI analysis, and then it gives a predictive output, okay? So for instance, now if you want to go to AI automation takes that LLM to a step further. So in fact, what it does is, if I know when my rent is due, if the AI registers that my rent has not been paid by a certain day, it triggers an automatic email or a communication to that person. I mean, who here is a landlord and ever had to collect rent? It's a little awkward, isn't it? Even though it's your property, it's a little awkward having that conversation. So now if you were to use an AI automation that simply works off of your custom CRM, which can be Google Sheets, Notion, it doesn't have to be complex, it has a date parameter and it knows July 1st, if rent is not paid, send this message. If rent is paid, send another message. And that's an AI automation. So that is something you can use Make.com and N8N. Those are the top tools at the moment when it comes to building AI automations. Now, what is an AI agent? An AI agent is something that goes beyond just letting you know that your rent is due. It performs tasks, it searches for it. If I say I want to go on a holiday to Jamaica, and I put that into ChatGPT, it's just going to let me see a list of things I can do in Jamaica. But if I put that into an AI automation, it may scrape for me resources beyond what I could know. It could scrape the internet for me to find out so much about Jamaica. Now, an AI agent is going to go beyond that. It's going to be messaging all these businesses, calling them on my behalf, because AI agents can behave in text, voice, or even video calls. So it can call any of these businesses, inquire about services for me, book appointments for me, and then at the end of the day, give me a full itinerary with everything booked. That is the power of an AI agent. And so there's a lot of platforms that you can actually use to build AI agents. I know I noted N8N for automations, but it also works for agents. And then you also have Lindy, which is a new one as well. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so who here has searched, and I'm going to be like Dr. Nanaya, the sounds in the back are very distracting. I speak often and I'm getting flustered because I have to think. Thank you so much, I appreciate that. Okay, so to the gentleman for the tech team, if we could just kindly expand, if you just click on any of the images on the screen. No, yeah, if you click directly. If you click directly on the picture. Yeah, perfect. So who here has ever used ChatGPT to search for a product or a service? Right? Search for a top lawyer, top dentist, top real estate agent, right? And so how does ChatGPT know what is a lawyer, what is a dentist, or even how to recommend that to you? We are now moving beyond Google searches, and we're moving into searching using LLMs. So now as a business and a brand, it is incredibly imperative for you to be seen, not just by Google, but by these LLMs. And so what are they actually, this is just a screenshot of when I searched. You can just click the X at the top, my friends. and get out of this page. Just in the right top corner. Yes, you're almost there. Thank you. So, oh, you don't have to click again. So when I asked ChatGPT, who are the top real estate professionals in Ghana? Who here wants to show up on that list, right? If I type who is the top real estate professional in Ghana, I want to show up if that is my niche. And so these are the people that show up. It gave me influential brokerage firms, top real estate developers, and leading real estate companies and agents. Now, how did it get that answer? Now, AI, you can actually go to the next slide, my friends. AI actually ranks solutions and not products. Okay? So what does AI actually want to see? Because when I talk to ChatGPT, what am I doing? I'm asking a question. I need help. So who best serves that question, or who best serves that process? So how do you do that? So next slide, please, my friends. Fantastic. So AI wants to trust that you are who you say you are and you do what you say you do. And these are the 3 ways that you can do that. Are you licensed? Are you on Google My Business? Are you a physical standing entity? Even if you're a virtual business, that's totally fine. But do you have some sort of digital authority as a business? And Google My Business is the #1 way to do that, right? As well as Bing. ChatGPT really does check into Bing for a lot of its results. So getting seen on those platforms is incredibly imperative. Also, are you local? I know schema markup is a little bit technical for some people, but essentially what that means is a computer doesn't, like if I had this as a website, a computer doesn't see this the way that we see this. It sees it in code. So it says, okay, header, Win AI search, name, subheader, that kind of thing, right? So what you need to do when you're building your website is to add a schema in the background so that AI and the internet in general can understand what do you do. So it's very clearly identified, your name, your industry, your contact, your service, so that when they want to refer you to a user, they've given all your information out there. And last but not least is, are you cited? So this takes on normal SEO practices, but just tweaks it a little bit when it comes. Are you cited? Are you featured in articles? Do other high authority ranking entities mention you in relation to your field? That is very important as well. So I'll share these slides, but if you ever go back to the last slide, it actually shows, let's go backwards, please. One more, yes. So can you just expand on this one? Fantastic. So it's kind of hard to see. I'm going to yell. But down here is the source. Where did it get that information, right? So now a lot of these AI models are sourcing where they got their information to try and eliminate hallucination. And hallucination is essentially when an AI model just gives you an answer because it's programmed to give an answer. It doesn't really care if it's right or not. But this proves that it's actually gotten this information somewhere. And if you look, Johnson Teta was actually featured here as a top influential brokerage simply because of an article that was featured about him in African Property magazine. That was it. That was the one thing that AI was able to pull to identify that this is a strong, influential person that I'm going to recommend. So try and get featured on some of these blogs. Some great real estate agents actually start their own blogs on their website and start to answer clients' questions on those platforms. And that's another way for Google to see you. So we can just go back to that other slide again. So you're going to be seeing, this is a very new science that's coming out now, but Google has come out with a paper, which I'll also share to participants, about how they rank and how they provide resources, because now these LLMs are going to become shopping hubs. They are going to start recommending products, even just based on your chat. Even if you're not talking about buying anything, it's going to know you. Your AI knows you, doesn't it? ChatGPT knows you very well. So it's going to start to know what types of product to recommend. Now, when it starts to roll that e-commerce out, are you, your business, your brand, your product, are you going to be visible? So you can skip to the next slide again. So I have a winning strategy here for you as well. One last thing as well is list yourselves on other platforms like Mikasa, Jumia. That really also helps, as they're very high-ranking authority websites. So let's go to the next slide, please. Now, we work with a lot of real estate agents actually outside of Ghana, but we understand that there are agents here that want to be able to integrate it. And we know that technology that may work in the United States may not work here. It has to fit into a cultural context. So these are some of the ways that you today, as an individual who's running a business in Ghana, can start to use AI automations and AI agents for free to enhance some of the things in your business. So number one, lease inquiries. Who here has ever had people message them, is it still available? Is it still available? Is there a 2-bedroom? Does it come with a garage? How many hours in your day are you spending responding to those messages, right? For free. On the free plan on Make, you could create an AI agent that can respond to all of that information. You just have to create the knowledge base and feed that into the model. So now you can now focus on more high-level activity rather than answering, is the road nice? Is there a school nearby? You don't have to answer those questions anymore. And what that shows is that there is a 45% increase to lead to viewing, because you get to answer those questions a lot faster and get them booking that appointment right away. Rent collection, like I mentioned before, you have a system. We need to start collecting data as even individuals, right? If we have one property, why not start from there? Put online our data of our tenants when their rent is due, and it can automatically send them rental reminders, give them 3 months in advance notice so they don't say that they're surprised that the rent was due. That is something that you can do. And that shows that there's a 70% increase in faster payments. Informal validation. This is valuation, sorry. This is a little bit more extreme, as we're going to start using drones, start using satellite imagery. But now with a drone, you can now travel to an area or get aerial footage of an area while you're in America or you're in Nigeria. You don't actually have to be in Ghana. And that can actually help with valuation. You're able to see the area as a whole. Who here has ever been to a viewing and the agent just shows you one house, but you don't get to see what the community looks like, what else is going on around there? Now, with this type of technology, you're able to do that. And now title disputes. I definitely think the number one solution to title disputes in Ghana and beyond is smart contracts, utilizing the blockchain. This is a way to make sure that it is with undeniable proof, I own this property and I have the authority to sell it. And that is the way that we can solve this deficit, because there's a lot that's really getting lost here. So we created we can actually go to the next slide, please. We're almost done. At REMA, we actually created an AI voice agent. So we actually have an agent called Whisper. Whisper, and our slogan is your loudest move yet, which is a play on obviously the word, because AI agents work silently in the background, but en masse. So our AI voice agent can actually be taking 1,000 concurrent calls. So if you are a business that has a high volume of calls, our AI agent can take 1,000 of them and not only just take the call, but it's going to be performing tasks in the background for you as well. So I'm just going to play you guys the conversation I had with my agent. We tailored this one specifically for Ghana, but again, with AI agents, and it's getting so loud. I'm like fighting with the audience. Thank you so much. We actually build AI agents in text, voice, and video. So imagine today you are here, but there's a video avatar of you taking intake calls with over 100 clients at the same time. Have you not maximized efficiency in your business? And not only that, you get, while you're sitting here, you're going to get an overview on your phone. Okay, you just had a meeting with Michael, this is his details. You just had a meeting with this person, these are their details. And then now you, at the high level of a performer that you are, now you get to only interact with the serious qualified leads. You've let AI handle the people that are really here to waste your time, right? So this is where this comes into play. So the room will have to be quiet because I'm not sure how the sound on the screen will be. So I please plead with you because this is really exciting. So my team in the back, if you guys could just press play, that would be fantastic.
Akwaba. I'm Kofi from Ghana.
It's too quiet.
Chale, let's find your perfect Accra home. What should I call you?
Rashida is fine.
Thank you, Rashida. May I ask what brings you to consider properties in Ghana at this time?
I'm originally from Ghana, actually, but I'm looking to relocate.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear, Rashida. Which regions are you primarily considering for your relocation?
I'm not sure of the regions. Could you tell me what they are?
Certainly, I can help with that. We have properties in Accra, along the coast, in the mountains, and up north. Are you interested in staying in Accra, perhaps closer to the beach, up in the mountains, or maybe in the north?
Oh, I would love to stay in the mountains.
The mountains are lovely. What time frame are you working towards for your relocation?
I would like to relocate, let's say by September, be in my new place.
That gives us a good amount of time to find the perfect place. What would your ideal property provide for your daily lifestyle up in the mountains?
Quietness, but easy access.
I understand.
I want easy access
Understood.
to roads.
So quietness and easy access
I
are
want good
important.
neighbors. I don't want any trouble lands.
That's very helpful to know, Rashida. Are there specific amenities that would significantly impact your quality of life, such as a garden, a pool, or perhaps high-speed internet?
Okay, definitely somewhere where I can get my MTN connection, but a pool would be nice.
Excellent. How important is proximity to business hubs or international schools?
Not very important to me.
Okay, great. What property type best suits your needs, such as an apartment, a standalone home, or a compound?
Oh, I think actually a standalone home or a compound.
And how many bedrooms would accommodate your household?
Minimum 3.
What budget range are we working within? Our premium properties range from $800 to $3,500 monthly.
Okay, I can afford, let's say, $1,000 a month.
Based on our conversation, I recommend considering these options in Aburi Hills. First, we have the Mountain View Sanctuary, a modern eco home with 3 to 4 bedrooms, priced between $1,500 and $2,000 per month. It boasts smart climate control, an organic farm, and a yoga pavilion. Also, this property has high demand. Would you be available for a virtual or in-person viewing this week? I have availability today at 4 p.m., tomorrow at 9 a.m., and Saturday at 10 a.m. Which works best for your schedule?
I could probably do tomorrow morning. Is that okay with you?
Yes, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. works perfectly. Now, to reconfirm all the details, could you please provide your full name, phone number, and email address? I'll send you a confirmation email with details about the property and the viewing.
So my full name is Rashida Musa. My phone number is 1234, and my email is rashidamusa@hotmail.com.
Okay, great. I have your name as Rashida Musa, your phone number as 1234, and your email as rashidamusa@hotmail.com. I'll send you a confirmation email shortly with all the details about the viewing tomorrow at 9 a.m. Madasi for your time, and I look forward to showing you the Mountain View Sanctuary.
Okay, you can stop now.
Thank you. Bye.
Happy I could help you find a property. Have a wonderful day.
Isn't that incredible? Yes. So now this completely eliminates the need for a human to be at that first point. And I know the conversation, especially in Africa around AI, is taking jobs, it's taking jobs. But first of all, that's not a job we're doing very well. Answering phones, that customer service. Now we can actually expedite that process and then have our humans who are in our workforce focus on things that they're actually strong at and focus at things that actually drive more revenue. Now they can focus on marketing efforts. Maybe now they can do more viewings. Now the person who was answering the phones can actually now be in the field because you have an AI taking calls for you all the time. So not only is this having that conversation, you notice that it gave me a few times, didn't it? It's checking with the agent's calendar in the back end. There's an integration with Google Calendar, so we can see, okay, it has availability during this time, and that's what it's recommending. The AI will now go and book it into the agent's calendar, send them a notification, and also send you, the potential client, and also an email with all the necessary details. So this is quite wonderful. These are things that we can do right here, right now. You can connect them to any sort of phone. It's a Ghanaian phone number, Nigerian phone number. You can even have it directly on your website. It's quite accessible. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Akwaba, I'm Kofi from Ghana's Best Properties. Chale, let's find your perfect
I think
Accra
we may
home.
need to-
What should I call you?
Rashida is fine.
Sorry, I think we may
Thank you,
need to stop
Rashida.
the audio.
May I ask what brings you to consider properties in Ghana at this time?
I'm originally from Ghana, actually, but I'm looking to relocate.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. And I think my microphone is off. By the okay, there we go. They've turned this one on. Okay, so again, when it comes to utilizing AI in Africa, we do have issues that make it harder for us to adopt at the rate at our other countries are adopting. But there are solutions. We shouldn't let this hinder us, and we should not get left behind. So if there is low internet and no internet penetration, you can use an AI model now that communicates with people via SMS. You can even have a USSD code that also does perform behind an AI agent. So the capacities is grand. You can now reach people who don't have internet. Power outages, there are offline capable agents like DeepSeek. China came out with DeepSeek, which is an offline version. We have high costs. Who here thinks AI is quite expensive? Like the subscriptions to AI tools is quite expensive. It can be, but like I've listed here today, with GPT, WhatsApp, and Make.com, you can build an AI agent absolutely for free. No cost, just your internet cost and maybe the time it took you to learn how to do so. And then resistance. I know that it's hard and the AI space is changing every day. Even as someone like myself who's a professional in the space and I've been working in AI since 2017, I get overwhelmed some days. I just say, oh my God, this is going too fast. Like, how do I keep up? But try. YouTube is there. There's individuals like myself. I put a lot of content on social media around what is changing in the AI space. But I definitely believe that this is what we need to do. We need to really grab it by force and not be using it at a rudimentary level. We have to really be using it at a high level because the technology is just immense. Now, one of my greatest quotes is, or not that I said, but one of the quotes that I like is, the greatest deed you can do for anyone is not free them from pain or hunger, but from ignorance. And so when it comes to artificial intelligence, that's a huge mission of mine, is not to just employ you to do AI, isn't to empower you as individuals. People always ask me at conferences, how can you advise the youth on how to get AI jobs? And I'll never do that, because AI is actually an entrepreneurial's asset, number one. Someone just built an app, single guy, sold it for $80 million. An AI app. One person. Obviously, he outsourced some of the products, but now you don't need a huge team. You can actually be empowered by yourself. And as an individual, if you are to master one AI tool or one AI skill, if you learn how to build an AI chatbot right now, you've now secured yourself a career. You just have to push yourself and put yourself out there and try and get clients. So, okay. Well, the last slide was just my closing slide, so if they will put it back. But thank you so much for your time today. I hope that you will utilize AI in your real estate operations. And you can find me on social media as Hajia AI, HAJIA_AI. So I'm on all social media that way. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Hajia AI, for that insightful presentation on AI. Well, at this point, I'll need more round of applause because we will be rewarding some of our great partners who have made this year's conference a success. And to help us with that presentation, I'll humbly call on Dr. Nanaya Prempe, who do us the honors in presenting this very unique award to one of our big partners. And so Doc will give us a few words on the category, if I may want to put it that way, and what this award is. So can the team kindly bring us the plaque? Right.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. Good afternoon. I'm sure we are doing fine now that we got something for our throats. We're doing fine. I'm here to present an award to an outstanding company that has been a leader in providing residential homes for families in Ghana. I know that we see companies that are into commercial properties. They build big malls and big shops. But this company has defined their niche in the residential housing sector. So the organizers of this conference have deemed it very proper and very right to acknowledge the partnership of this outstanding company that is making a mark in the residential property sector. So if I can get the plug, then I can invite the company. If I can get the plug, then I can invite the company to come for the award. Yesterday, I chanced on the sales and marketing manager of this company, and he was trying to sell one of their properties to me. But he didn't know that I can sell ice to him if he's an Eskimo. But he did a great job. He did a great job pitching a sales line to sell one of their homes. They have made a mark in the industry. When you go down to Ayimensa, climbing up to the Abri Mountains, where everyone goes to shred off some fat. We go to the area to start jogging and things. When you're going down and you go up the mountain, you see on your left a cluster of beautiful homes which have been developed, and they really set the pace in that area. So if the representation from Indigo Homes is here, shall we give an outstanding clap? Yes. Oh, clap, 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 clap. This is beautiful, isn't it? I'm trying to remember your name, but I didn't want you to say it. Jason is the sales and marketing manager for Indigo Homes, and he's here to represent the entire company, from the board to the cleaner. Yes, this is from the conference organizers of the Accra Real Estate Conference and Expo 2025 to acknowledge you. We need to celebrate our own. So we are here to celebrate you and empower you to do more. You have provided houses and homes for families, both locally and those coming from abroad. and your signature is there. And we appreciate you, and it is our prayer that God will increase you and multiply what you do. In Jesus' name, amen. So on behalf of ARC 2025, I present to you this beautiful plaque to celebrate your achievements and your progress. Amen. Can be beer.
Thank you very much. On behalf of my company, my team members, some of who are having lunch, I'd like to say a very big thank you to the organizers and to Doctor. She mentioned I was trying to sell to her yesterday, but she could sell ice to me if I was an Eskimo. Well, Doctor, for your information, I could sell sand to you if you were in the Sahara Desert. But yes, a very big thank you to the organizers, a very big thank you to you guys. We would not be here if not for you. I'm glad to see that there's a lot of activity in the industry with all the developers coming up. It shows that there's real potential, and let's make the most of it. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Indigo Homes. We are moving straight. We are running way behind time, and so we would have to move very quickly now. At this moment, we'd like to call on our next speaker who is giving brief remarks. He has assured me that he's going to be really brief. I'm wondering how somebody with a PhD can be brief, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome our next guest who will be speaking on empowering Ghana's built environment, very key to this year's conversation. He is in the person of Dr. Dominic Boite. He is the head of Department of Built Environment at UESD. Please let's welcome him with a round of applause.
Height deficient. I'm waiting for my single slide, and mine is going to be a brief address, and I have titled it as Empowering Ghana's Built Environment, University of Environment and Sustainable Development's Role in Cultivating PropTech Savvy Professionals for Sustainable Development. Distinguished organizers, esteemed attendees of the Africa Real Estate Conference and Expo 2025, ladies and gentlemen, kindly accept my warmest regards and sincere wishes for a successful conference. This year's ARC, taking place here in Accra, focuses on PropTech and digital transformation in Africa, unlocking Africa's potential for sustainable growth. A theme that underscores the importance of innovation in our sector. I deeply value the alliance between the University of Environment and Sustainable Development, UESD, and the Real Africa Estate Professional Association, GREPA, in sharing our perspective on the crucial role of human resource potential in bridging the gap within Ghana's built environment, particularly in this era of PropTech and digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 years ago marked a significant milestone in the inauguration of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development. Established by an Act 898 of 2025, UESD is committed to becoming a leading institution in environmental and sustainable development education, research, and partnership. Within our School of Sustainable Development, the built environment was established 2 years ago. We are proud to have admitted our inaugural cohort of students into our BSc Urban Planning and Development and BSc Sustainable Construction Management and Technology programs, with our foundation BSc Architecture and Sustainable Design program taking off this year. At the heart of our department's mission lies the commitment to train skillful personnel equipped to harmonize development with our environment. Through vigorous research and innovative teaching, we aim to cultivate professionals capable of balancing human needs with minimal environmental impact, providing sustainable solutions to the pressing environmental challenges, resource wastage, and depletion that threaten our communities and future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this conference, PropTech and Digital Transformation in Africa, Unlocking Africa's Potential for Sustainable Growth, resonated deeply with our vision at UESD. It underscores the transformative potential of technology in addressing the multifaceted challenges within the built environment. The construction industry in Ghana, contributing significantly to our GDP, is experiencing rapid growth, mirroring the broader trend of rapid urbanization across Africa that is creating a significant demand for real estate development. However, the significant resource consumption throughout a building's life cycle necessitates a focused approach on digitalization to minimize waste and promote efficiency. It is in this context that the development of our human capital becomes paramount. Investing in the education and continuous training of our population is not merely an option, it is a strategic imperative. By nurturing their capabilities, we empower them to foster innovation, embrace creativity, and adapt seamlessly to the technological advancement, reshaping the built environment. PropTech, the application of information technology and platforms economics to real estate markets, is revolutionizing the African real estate sector by enhancing efficiency, transparency, and user experience. Digital transformation is a powerful catalyst for PropTech-driven innovation across the sector. This transformation enhances data management and analytics through tools like building information modeling and AI, leading to more informed decision-making. It is also improves efficiency and collaboration via digital net flows and platforms. Furthermore, PropTech fosters sustainability with energy-efficient systems and data-driven urban planning, while enhancing safety through Internet of Things and advanced risk management. Ultimately, digital tools streamline transactions and property management, driving progress in Ghana's built environment. The African real estate technology sector is experiencing significant growth and is projected to reach approximately 17.64 trillion by the end of 2025, indicating the immense potential of PropTech in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, at UESD, you will find carefully curated multidisciplinary programs within the Department of Built Environment. Our curricula are designed to provide a comprehensive understanding of structures, materials, environmental considerations, health, and safety management and professional practice. We are dedicated to equipping future professionals with the technical knowledge, analytical skills, and innovative mindset required to effectively and sustainably manage complex projects. Our graduates will be prepared to tackle the challenges inherent in the construction industry, address the impact of climate change, and champion environmental sustainability. Our programs, including BSc Urban Planning and Development, BSc Sustainable Construction Management and Technology, and BSc Architecture and Sustainable Design, are designed to address the growing need of professional skills in areas like green building, smart city initiatives, and sustainable construction. The convergence of PropTech, fintech, and other modern innovative building practices, all aimed at fostering a green environment and responsible resource management in alignment with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Is perfectly synchronized with our institutional mandate. We at UESD recognize the training, research, and professional competence are crucial for improving the real estate market in Africa. Our collaboration with GRIPA further strengthens our commitment to promoting sustainable real estate practices, education, research, and enhancing academic and professional programs for our students and faculty members. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development, I extend my sincere wishes for a highly productive and successful conference. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Doc. We are grateful for that presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, our next presenter has played a very critical role in shaping this year's conference. For those of us who registered on day one, that whole technology bit where we went to the screen and put in our details and, we were giving our tags and all of these were coordinated by our partners, PropTech. And so Ini, like I want to call him, is here to give us a presentation of how this whole PropTech works and how it's going to advance the industry. So please let's welcome Ini with a round of applause as he takes us through a presentation. Yes,
Hello? Hello? I think I need a bit more volume. Good afternoon, everyone. It feels very official standing there. I think I want to speak to you guys like my friends that you are. Good afternoon. I just want to be a little bit louder, so I'm sure that we are here. Good afternoon, everyone. Super. So my name is Ini, and I'm representing PropTech Buzz. Before we start, I want to strike a deal with everyone. I know that we are tired. The time is far spent. So I've compressed my presentation into a very short, it's shorter now, basically. I'm going to try to finish in 5 minutes, but I want you to give me your full attention for those 5 minutes. Do we have a deal? Do we have a deal? No, it's fine. Okay, so let's start. Can I have the slides up, please? Okay, it's taking a while. Please still give me that attention, please. It will be up very soon, and I'll be able to rush through it very quickly and just drive home the point. All right. So the title for my presentation is Why Connecting Global PropTech is the Need of the Hour. So we've had some presenters speak about why this is the time for PropTech. And I'll explain to you why this critical moment is so important. Please, next slide. Okay, this is the old one. Okay, so the industry has a lower tech adoption problem. Next slide. Yes, so I want you to pay attention to what you're seeing on the screen right now. So these are some of the very popular traditional industries we have all around the world. You can see education, healthcare, transport, and banking. These are things we do on a regular basis. Despite how important and big these industries are, real estate is still one of the largest or the largest traditional industry in the world. Are you happy to be in real estate? I mean, there's a lot of money here. So let's move to the next slide. There's a problem though. Even though the traditional industry is very rich in terms of valuation and market cap, you can see that PropTech is very, very small compared to other digital industries of these traditional industries we just talked about before. It's about 30-something billion in valuation. And you can see that the rest of them are much higher, especially e-commerce. So there's a lot of money next slide. There's a lot of money that is left on the table. And we are all here because we are business people. We are people looking to make more money, looking to get to the next stage of our career. There's a lot left. So this particular slide, I want you to pay attention to it because less than 1% of real estate's valuation and market cap is what PropTech is. So it presents a very big problem. We need to make sure that this goes around. You see how banking is such a wealthy industry and fintech is also so wealthy. I'm from Nigeria. I think we have about 4 unicorns of fintech in Nigeria. The largest valuation for Africa in terms of PropTech was Nawi. They just, I think in 2 months ago, they got a new funding for their products. But there's a very huge difference. There's a very huge gap. And this is insanely ridiculous. How much money we are leaving on the table with tech in real estate and properties. So let's move to the next slide. So now, PropTech Buzz. I'm one of the founding members of PropTech Buzz. I'm not the founder though. Ravi is the founder. Sean there is going to be one of our country leaders. I'll talk about that in a bit. But our mission is to bring the global PropTech ecosystem to your fingertips. So to accelerate the growth of PropTech in real estate. That's one of our major visions. And so how are we doing that? I think I'll talk about just one of the models we are using to do that. Next slide, please. So there are several ways we plan to do that. Because of time, I'll talk only about conferences because we are here in a conference, and I believe this conference is so important for the acceleration of the growth of PropTech in Africa. Next slide. So this is what we built for Arce 2025. Wasn't used as much because of Wi-Fi issues and then some logistical stuff. It's going to be improved in the coming years as well. You can see there is live polls so you can get feedback. There's a schedule so you can see what's happening when and where. There's a whole interface where you can look through everything about the event. Imagine you're at an event and you don't necessarily have to walk up to anyone to know where to go to get to the toilets, right? There's an AI embedded in the app where you can ask the directions of the toilets and you can stand up and it shows you how to do that. It makes you feel more connected, and we're also a community partner because you being in the conference, there's a very short time to network and meet people. The reason you are here is because you want to network and connect, but a very limited time. You have 2 days for this conference to connect and meet with all the people that are here. So imagine this conference is larger than this. In the coming years, there's thousands of people. There's a very small amount of people you can meet in 2 days. And because of that, there needs to be a digital partner where you can even do this right here in the conference and even when the conference ends. And that conversation continues. So that's where PropTech comes in. Next slide. So I just talked about a little bit about this slide already. So let's move to the next slide. Yes. So you can also chat because one of the issues we have with tech adoption in the industry is we don't have a global village where everybody can talk amongst each other and ideas and innovations can spread through different places, right? So we've created a global chat stream where different people in different conferences, different communities, different founders all around the world can do all this in one single place, right? And we've grown massively. You see that in the next few slides. Next slide, please. Talking about conferences, we've actually already partnered with conferences in different parts of the world. And I want you to pay attention to this because you can see that there's a lot of conferences that have happened within Africa that we've partnered with. So we are partnering with Neogen Conference in Egypt that's going to be happening very soon. We partnered with Area. We are here at Arce, Reside Summit in South Africa, and Africa Valuation Conference in South Africa. But you can also see that we've also expanded to different parts of the world. There's Fix Summit in the US, APTI in Europe, IPS and PropTech Summits in Saudi Arabia and Dubai, all these different places. So the interesting thing is those things we've been asking you to scan. When you scan and become a part of the global community, you get access to connections beyond Ghana, beyond Africa. So that's why when we're asking you to scan, please do. You get a chance again. Next slide. Next slide, please. It's not me. That 5 minutes. It's not me that is delaying you guys. So we also, aside from the fact that you being part of the conference, it gives you an inroad into becoming part of the global community that we've built on PropTech Buzz. Just scan and get more details because I can't go into everything within the short time that I have. But you also have the chance to build your own communities. I think it's Park Kwesi, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. When he was talking about the ways that you can get yourself out there, he talked about the fact that communities are so important. If you start to build a massive following around what you know and you become a thought leader, it's very easy for you to penetrate through the industry. So we've built an infrastructure where you can build your own communities. And I'll talk about some of the features there. Next slide, please. Okay, so we have more than 7,000 members. These are global members. These are founders, investors, developers all around the world. Next slide. And we have VIPs as well. It's a different section of people on our platform. Next slide. Yes, so just some examples just so that you can picture what I'm talking about. This is Uday. He's the CEO of Nemadin. He's a PropTech product from India. And he asked a question on our community platform. Move to the next slide. These are questions you probably need to wait for a conference to happen that he was able to do just on our platform. So he's asking customer education, how do we go about it? Because he's a founder, he's built a product, he wants people to use the product. Next slide. And you see founders from different parts of the world, including Sean, that gave a speech earlier, also lending their voice into how he can go about this. So these are the kind of things you can do by being on the platform. Next slide. So there's so many other communities. I told you we've built infrastructure for people to build communities, and there's about 100 plus communities on our platform already. Next slide. Because of time, I can't really go into details about all of this. This is the community platform we built for Africa Valuation Conference, and you can see they have close to 250 members already on the platform. Next slide. They also run regular webinars. This is something you can do if you build a community on our platform. Next slide. There was a ticket function on the platform, so people could buy tickets directly on the platform as well. Next slide. So in case you have a conference, you can do that on our platform. Courses. So with a community page, if you decide to build a community on our platform, you can also run courses on them and charge for those courses. So it can also be another source of income for you, whether you're a realtor, real estate agent, whatever it is. Next slide. So this is an example of a community we launched for Irina Lika. Irina Lika is an ex-Google executive, and she's just launching a community on our platform for real estate investors interested in investing in Portugal. Next slide. So here's something interesting I wanted to show. Because of how sensitive our community is, it's monetized. So unless you pay this amount, you cannot access the information in our community. As you can see, it's really tiny. But it says this is a private channel. You need to join to access the channel. And once you try to do that, they're going to ask you to pay some money as a commitment to get access to the kind of properties that are there on that platform. So you can also do something like this. Next slide. Yes, so you can come and build your communities with us. You find out how, because I have my details in the coming slides. Next slide. I'm almost done. Sorry for taking your time. I'm almost done. Next slide. So what does the community say about us? I have to say about what we've built. Next slide. Just show a few examples. I will call it a day. So this is Thank God Jacob, and he's saying, your website is the best. Okay. Just go to that one because it's short. This one's, I can't pick out of this one. Just go to the previous one. The previous slide. No, yes. So your website is the best PropTech networking platform, and I don't think I've seen anything like this before. Wow. So just move to the next slide, and then I'll just leave the screen with the QR code one more time. So you have some time to scan and download the app. Just a few seconds. I'll leave it on for a few seconds while you do that. So it's not just conferences. We have so many other parts of the platform. I'm saying this because I'm waiting for it to scan in case you want to do that. You can also launch your products on the platform. So if you have a PropTech product, if you have a consulting business, you can launch it and access global clients, global customers. We've had people launch from different parts of the world: Dubai, Mexico, USA, Nigeria, South Africa, and all the likes. So let's move to the next slide. So just in case you want to get more information, because I couldn't run through everything in this one presentation, you can scan this barcode and it's going to take you to my LinkedIn and you can send me a message. Thank you very much. God bless you.
For that very revised and brief presentation. Now we will move on, but just a quick announcement to all participants who had the lunch coupon. Unfortunately, you were not given access because lunch is over. Please be rest assured that arrangements are being made for you in the next few minutes, so please bear with us. Once you have your coupon and you were not allowed in the restaurant, please, arrangements are being made, for everyone, please. Those who have the coupons, please. Thank you so much. Now, we move on to our next speaker, and I'm very excited about this next speaker because this person, I must say, sits very close to the seat of government. They speak directly to government. They advise the, very relevant policymakers, and they take the decisions, really. And so this next speaker will be speaking about some investment opportunities in Ghana's real estate sector. What are some of the investment opportunities? At this point, just as his name suggests, I need him just as he needs us. Let's welcome Mihiawo Lovey, Deputy Director at the GIPC. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My assignment this afternoon is it's quite simple but a bit tricky. That to make some remarks on investment opportunities in Ghana within a short time frame. All right. As already indicated, my name is Mihiawo Lovey, and I'm with the Research and International Cooperation Division of the GIPC. So kindly accept warm compliments from the CEO of the GIPC, Mr. Simon Maji, and then compliments from the management and staff of the center. In fact, we appreciate the organizers so much for giving us the opportunity. It actually dovetails our mandate as the foremost investment promotion agency of Ghana, and we are tasked to promote, encourage, monitor investments in all sectors of the Ghanaian economy, the real estate sector not excluded. And the theme for this program, we believe, is quite timely because it's coming at a point where we can witness a lot of transformation in the real estate sector. Market projections estimate that the real estate sector would continue to grow. In fact, it has been growing over the past 7 years. We have a rate of average annual rate of about 3.3% growth in the real estate sector, and we anticipate that up to 2029, it's still going to experience growth with similar magnitude. So it indicates that there is viability. The sector is viable, and for that matter, there is a lot of opportunities that investors and entrepreneurs, both local and foreign, can take advantage of. The trajectory that we witness in the real estate sector is, from the view of GIPC, is basically anchored on some developments presently being witnessed in the country. One significant one has to do with the issue of urbanization. the country is urbanizing quite rapidly. We presently have about 56.7% of the population urbanized, and it is estimated that by 2030, we would have about 70% of the population urbanized. And this trend is actually driving demand for housing, infrastructure, and modern amenities. You would also witness relative stability in the macroeconomic environment. Of course, inflation is on a downward trend from 2022, where we had about 54% inflation rate. We've witnessed a downward trend, and it's now around 18.1%. We have the Bank of Ghana policy rate also on a downward trend. And recent monetary policy decisions are reinforcing investor confidence in the Ghanaian economy. With regards to FDI trends, it's quite significant to note that from just 2022 to 2024 alone, GIPC registered about 18 projects related to the real estate industry, with total estimated value of $53 million. And it's telling of the fact that indeed the country and the government is putting in place significant policies to support the real estate sector and to support investment and encourage foreign direct investment. One significant thing for us to note is that the GIPC exists not only for foreign direct investors, but the GIPC also exists for local entrepreneurs as well. So we give support to both foreign and local entrepreneurs. Government has in place a number of policies, and then we have, regulatory reforms ongoing. For example, the GIPC is presently in the process of reviewing the law that establishes the GIPC. And in there, one critical aspect of reform has to do with the minimum equity requirement for investors. Previously or presently, when you have an investor coming in, it is required that the investor meets a certain minimum threshold in terms of foreign equity, where the investor is getting into partnership with a Ghanaian, a minimum foreign equity contribution of $200,000 is required to be met. We are presently in the process of reviewing such requirements, which we believe, and from feedback following interactions that we have with investors, we believe is an impediment to investments. So we have regulatory reforms ongoing. And then another critical thing to note is the fact that even the 2025 budget has established a framework to encourage investments into the real estate investment trust. So a lot of policy is being put in place to ensure that there is a congenial environment generated for investments. Now, some of the opportunities that readily comes to mind from the perspective of GIPC and from interactions and observations that we have made over the period include investment opportunities in residential property development, opportunities in industrial property development, as well as commercial property development. There is opportunity to establish or set up apartments in, prime areas like Airport City, East Legon, very prime areas. There is opportunity to establish even just a studio or a bedroom apartment could fetch as much as $150 to $200, and it is a significant opportunity that investors, both local and foreign, can take a look at and try to take advantage of. There is opportunity to go into affordable housing as construction of low-cost units and adoption of prefabricated technologies, which would go a long way to reduce the cost of housing. There is also opportunities with regards to commercial property development. There is significant demand for commercial property, and this is largely due to the fact that the population is growing and population is increasing in the urban areas. So there is opportunity. There is opportunity to also develop rest stops in support of the tourism sector, and government is quite keen and open to get into partnerships, PPPs, with the private sector. One other area has to do with the establishment of industrial property, industrial parks, for instance. Take GIPC, for example. We have a parcel of land located in the western region near Takoradi, which is open and could be made available to investors that are interested in establishing industrial parks. Government is quite keen on establishing industrial parks, and in light of government's 24-hour policies, various policies are being put in place to ensure that there is support for investments in that area. Land banking is a significant area. You could consider acquiring lands in up and growing areas that could be made available for real estate purposes. In Ghana, vacancy with regards to retail facilities is quite low, and that's indicative of the fact that there is growing demand for retail and warehouse space. It presents a significant opportunity for investors to take advantage of. So on that note, I would just indicate that the Ghana Investment Promotion Center is open and available and ready to assist investors, local, foreign partnerships to go through the maze of establishing and doing business in Ghana. We perform hand-holding services, actually holding your hand through the process of registration and setting up and doing business in Ghana. So on that note, I would say that thank you very much for the opportunity granted the GIPC to partake in this forum, and to reiterate that our offices are open. If you have any questions, we have a research team that is in a position to provide and to provide and respond to whatever inquiries that you have with regards to the real estate industry. If you require data, if you need contacts, the GIPC is available to provide assistance in that regard. So on that note, I'll say a big thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you to our very own speaker, Mihiao Lovey. We are just about inching closer to the final remarks. You've been very great guests. You have stayed right from the morning till now, and I appreciate your time and your company today. We are moving on to another presentation, and this is going to be yet another interesting one. We are going to delve into the space of virtual reality. Yes, and augmented reality. solutions to transform property marketing and client engagement. And for those of us who have had the chance to visit their booths outside, we were giving a tour into some of the facilities, but that was done virtually. And so we are looking forward to this conversation. Personally, I've been waiting for this particular one. And to take us through, we are honored to receive the Business Development and Sales Manager of Dobison Ghana Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's make welcome Lazarus I. Adams. I wanted to, present and call you with this, but hopefully we'll do the presentation when you're done. Hopefully we'll do a demonstration.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Laz Ibrahim Adams, and I'm so honored to be here. I want to say thank you to ARC and GRIPA, and especially Lady Vicky. She's doing a great job. And I think her name will go down as one of the people who really contributed to real estate in Ghana. So we honor you and we love you, Lady Vicky. Thank you. So I'm going to be quick because I want to run away from the stage. Right, so I'm presenting on virtual reality and augmented reality solutions to transform property marketing and client engagement. Yeah. Next slide. Can we have the next slide, please? 335,126 hours wasted. According to research, this is the total number of hours wasted by developers and agents engaging clients that lead to no sales. No sales. Yes, you see, no sales. And that is because clients go on a website trying to find property. They engage the agent. Microphone. This one. Yes. So they engage the agent, and then they get to the place, they realize they are not interested. Then they go to another place, they realize they are not interested. In the end, the agent wastes, they waste the agent's time or the developer's time. And it becomes a fight. I remember years ago, my time at Mikasa, we received calls from agents, and they are complaining bitterly about how clients have wasted their time. And clients also report the agents to us, and it's a whole fight. But this can be reduced, and that is what we are solving with our new product called Infinity View. Next slide. Our research shows that 90% of home buyers begin their search online. All of us here, if you are looking for a house to rent or to buy, the first place you go is online. Google, Mikasa, Ghana Property Center, Gigi, or any of these places, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. 90% of people who are searching for homes, they search online. So now, real estate has just moved from the traditional way that we know it to online. 50 to 67% of buyers say virtual tours are more useful than photos. Now, I believe that if I meet everyone here, or I interview everyone here one-on-one, and I ask them, virtual tours or static pictures, which one do you prefer? Everyone would, yes, we all prefer virtual tours because we want to see the property for what it is, rather than just see the images. You see the images, you get there, sometimes you even appreciate the property better than what the images were presenting. And if you are an agent or a developer, you lose out on such clients. Sometimes you lose out on clients just because they've seen a picture, they didn't appreciate the property much. And some clients also see a property, a picture, they feel like it's going to be a nice property, they get there and they are disappointed. So virtual reality or virtual tours show you the property for what it really is. Listings with virtual tours get 87% more views and sell faster, 31% faster. So if you're an agent or a developer, you know, when we talk about real estate, you should be more interested in virtual tours than to focus on static images, because now the real estate market is moving away from static 2D images to virtual tours. And it's better that you adapt than to be left behind. Next slide. So immersive technologies like VR and AR are not just nice to have, not at all. They are powerful tools transforming how real estate is marketed, experienced, and sold. With platforms like Infinity View, which is what I'm going to present to you now, we are not imagining the future, we are building it, and it's now. Next slide. So the problem with traditional real estate marketing, it is there. Disconnected impressions, time wastage, and every agent here or every realtor here would agree to the time wastage. Global buyer challenges and developer dilemma. Next slide. So what if every client from London, New York, or Kumasi could walk through your property and its neighborhood, see the finishes, measure the kitchen, or imagine their furniture in place instantly? Next slide. That is what we are presenting to you. That is what Infinity View is. And Dobison has built this platform called Infinity View, where you will not just have, that's going to be Africa's first ever solely virtual tours platform, where you are not just seeing static pictures, but you are going to be seeing 360 images and tour every single property you are interested in, rather than just seeing static pictures. So Ghana's first AI-powered 360-degree real estate marketplace for off-plan and completed properties. Next slide. So the images here, this is what we did for Apollonia City. The one you can see there, they were selling their lands, and we took a drone shot, overlaid the lands with sold and available. So for them, when you go to their website, you can see the sold lands, you can see the available lands. So as a buyer, you know exactly which land you are trying to purchase. And this also leads to a decrease in litigation, which is one of the main problems that we are facing in Africa currently. And you can also see the QR code. You can scan the QR code for the Blossom, a virtual tour that we created for Gold Key Properties just about 3 weeks ago when they launched their product. So I can see some people scanning. So you can scan if you are interested. Great. So what is a virtual tour? Just take a picture of this. The virtual tour is just fully immersing you in an environment other than what we are seeing currently. The next one, augmented reality, is you are aware of your surroundings, but you can also see some virtual characters in there. So that's augmented reality. We can use augmented reality to measure if the furniture you are trying to buy will fit in place in your kitchen, in your bedroom, wherever, in whatever space, so that you don't waste your time buying something that wouldn't fit into your house. So we can use augmented reality for that, but we don't have time to go into it. So these are the clients that we've worked for so far. These are some of the clients, just a fraction of the clients that we've worked with so far. We've worked with LMI, our very own LMI, and JL Properties. We've also worked with Gold Key Properties, Zaina Lodge, Blue Rose Limited, Apollonia City, Indigo Homes, and so on and so forth. So what are the benefits of virtual tours or Infinity View? Shorter sales cycle, higher conversion rates, remote engagement at scale, better qualified leads, and elevated brand perception. So let me just summarize everything. For Infinity View, we are building this platform where we are not just creating virtual tours for you. We will build a virtual tour for you. We will host it on the Infinity View platform. We will market it for you. We will generate the lead for you. And we have a platform that, we have a system we use to track the leads that we've generated for the agent or for the developer. So when that lead is converted into sales, then we get a commission of that. So if you have a property currently, we can do a virtual tour of that at no cost, actually. But the cost comes in when the lead is converted into sales. And that is what Infinity View is. We have the technical know-how, we have the people who will be able to do it, and we have the skill to be able to handle such a project. Yes, so that's a case study, what we did for Apollonia City. And they've testified about how they were able to, shorten their sales cycle because clients were able to see the virtual tour, go into the rooms, see the bedrooms and all of that, and take faster decisions. And because of that, they were able to close faster and sell their properties faster than the traditional sales that other developers are using. Again, this is what we did for Apollonia City. So today I spoke to the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, and he was so impressed with this. And he feels like this is something that the government should even invest into to reduce litigation issues in the country. So what's unique about Infinity View? Every listing has a virtual tour. Leads are tracked, qualified, and routed to developers and agencies by AI agents. No app downloads, just click and explore. So this is how it's going to be looking like. And at the end of my presentation, you are going to have a QR code. So you just have to scan. You fill a very short form, and your name, your number, your email, and then you tell us whether you have a built property, a 3D, an off-plan property, and we will contact you. Then we can start business. Next slide. Great. Next slide. Just jump to the slide with the QR code. Great. So you should scan this QR code. You are going to see a very short form, your name, your number, whether you have a built property. If your property is not built yet, like Gold Key, Spiros, and some of these clients, we are able to still create a virtual tour with your 3D renders. So your property, even if it's going to be ready in 3 years' time or 4 years' time, we can still create a virtual tours for you. And that will be it. So thank you so much for your time. And it was an honor to present. Thank you. All right, so usually we use these VR headsets for expos. Because, if you're in your house, you wouldn't really need this. I use this to play games in my house, though. But if you're in your house, you wouldn't need it. So all that you can see here, you can also experience on your phone or a laptop or anything. But for expos, maybe you are a developer or an agency, you go for a real estate expo outside of the country or somewhere, you carry this, and anyone who comes to your booth will be able to experience your property in the VR headset. So we have a stand out there. After this, you'll be able to come and experience all the properties, or most of the properties that we've worked on.
Good afternoon to you all. Once again, my name is Duke Aaron Sasso, Head of Corporate Litigation at Premium Law. It is an honor to be here today, and I'm fascinated with the various conversations that have happened prior to this. And I wish to express my sincerest appreciation to the team for inviting me. I think the first time I was invited was about 2 years ago, but I was not able to attend. I think that was at the La Palm or La Bardi Beach Hotel. So it's really a privilege to be here today, having a conversation that borders on Africa and a conversation that borders on how we can collectively contribute to the development agenda of this continent. My topic is on fractional ownership, legal frameworks. What are the foundational legal elements that can sustain tokenization of real estate in Africa? I'm sure my slide is ready, so the team can proceed on that for me. So basically, we are dealing with about 1.4 billion people in a continent that has the youngest population. We are talking about a combined GDP potential of about $3.7 trillion, having the fastest markets in Africa. We are talking about 54 diverse African nations. How do we utilize our unique identity within the confines of real estate for common prosperity for the African people? And what is the role of law in that very conversation and in that very discourse? And that is what my presentation will be on today. Now, I'm going to share a story of a lady by name Amara. So Amara happens to be a 32-year-old mathematics student or mathematics teacher in Lagos. Now, she earns roughly about $4,500 annually. Amara aspires that she wants to own real estate. She wants to own property. The pricing of property is within about $125,000, all right, which is even the modest element that she can reach in principle. Now, Amara's story is like over 250 million Africans who are within the middle income who cannot access that very space of real estate. Why? Because of their income size and all that. Please, sorry, the next slide, please. How do we position Amara to have a story that with her meager income, she can participate in the real estate conversation in Africa? And that is what this story or this presentation borders on. The IT guys, please kindly focus. If you can please go to the next slide for me, I'll appreciate that. So, in the status quo, Amara can buy stocks on the New York Stock Exchange for as low as $25. She can own a piece of the cake within corporations. But Amara cannot own a piece of property within this jurisdiction of Ghana, or she cannot own property within Africa with very little funding. To participate in that, she needs between $50,000 to $100,000. How do we transition real estate to a mechanism that allows people like Amara to buy equity value in real estate that allows her to verily own assets, not just within the jurisdiction, but across the continent? What we are mainly exploring is the story of about 250 million Africans who, within their meager income, can contribute as low as $100 and become a part of Africa's real estate conversation. We are talking about a potential market of $21.9 trillion in Africa's real estate conversation. We are talking about the story of about 85% of Africans who are excluded in the conversation of real estate, are excluded in participating in real estate on the continent. Today, we change Amara's story. Next slide, please. Now, this is what Amara's future looks like 5 years from now. What it means is that Amara can invest about $5,000 in a Lagos office complex. Amara can owe about $4,500 in token or equity in an Accra housing project. Amara can owe about over $2,000 in equity or a token in a retail center in Nairobi, Kenya. It means that Amara every month can be earning roughly $1,000 in a token value while he sits in Ghana here or in Nigeria, in Lagos, in terms of value across the African continent. So while Amara is enjoying her teaching career, she's earning value across the continent. What it means is that over 100,000 teachers like Amara now own pieces of Africa's infrastructure. It means that over $1.25 billion in previously inaccessible wealth now flows to the middle class. It means that over 2.5 million jobs are being created in prop tech. My previous speaker was engaging in prop tech conversation, in legal services, and in blockchain development. We are talking about 54 African nations connected through seamless regulated real estate, principally. So this conversation is not just a science fiction, essentially. What we are saying is that this legal revolution can make this possible. It can make possible blockchain-enabled fractional ownership laws, cross-border investment frameworks. We are talking about smart contract legal recognition, democratized capital markets. So essentially, we are building a model that allows that legal conversations permit the participation of Africans in the middle class to access real estate opportunities that ordinarily they wouldn't have had access to. Next slide, please. Now, what are the current challenges in African real estate? High capital requirements. Within the capital front, we are talking about 85% challenges in terms of high capital requirement. Right? We are talking about a minimum investment often between around $50,000 to about $100,000, all right, excluding over 90% of Africans from the real estate conversation. We are talking about average property sale taking between 6 to 18 months, right, almost 2 years, which is a limiting investment flexibility factor. We are talking about legal fragmentation, 54 different legal systems across Africa creating compliance challenges. We are talking about cross-border complexity, foreign investment restrictions, which are limiting capital flows across the continent, irrespective of the potential that we have on the African continent. Now the game changer. Traditional model as against our tokenized model. Within the traditional model, we have a high minimum investment of between $50,000 to $100,000, which cannot be accessed by the middle class. We have low liquidity levels. We have complex paperwork. We have intermediary dependency. Then the magic wand appears, called blockchain. Then we have a fractional ownership, owning a piece of the cake. It means that we have instant liquidity because there is a low liquidity level requirement that for as low as $100, you can owe an equity value or a share of a high value infrastructure across the African continent. We are talking about smart contracts and direct peer-to-peer engagement. Now, 4 stages within the process. We have property asset control, which are then we then create digital tokens for. These then are then given access to for the middle class people or low income people who can then access a fraction of saying, and we have a global trading mechanism that allows people across the world to flow their capital within our jurisdiction and own a piece of Africa. But essentially, it means that Africans can now own that real estate, and we will then own our future and the very potential that defines the African continent. Key benefits of tokenization. We are talking about reducing minimum investment. We are talking about enabling a 24/7 trading on digital exchanges. We are talking about automating compliance through smart contracts. We are talking about providing transparent ownership records. We are talking about facilitating cross-border investment. Essential legal framework. Next slide. Essential legal framework. Now, the frameworks border on property rights, which are fundamental within our constitution as well. So essentially, we need to establish property rights. So there's the need for a legal framework that recognizes digital property ownership in principle. We need securities regulations that tends to assess the legality of the process and ensures the safety of those transactions within the space. Of course, we need anti-money laundering, what we call AML, know your customer verification processes. This ensures that we are within the confines of law and that this does not become a process used by certain stakeholders in duping people and in allowing illegal flow of capital within the very structure. And of course, a tax framework that allows us to meet our revenue obligations in principle. Now, if you look at the component elements down there, of these very elements, these are the current stages that we are looking at. Property rights, its purpose is about defined tokenized ownership. Now, it is in a developing stage, mainly across the continent. It's of a high priority because everything flows from ownership. It is from that ownership context that we can have other conversations in principle. Securities law, right, which regulates token offerings in principle. Now, there's a limited engagement there because we can have analysis of South Africa, Mauritius, Rwanda, Nigeria, and Ghana, and you realize the fluctuating elements in terms of growth of securities regulations within those jurisdictions. Also a very high priority area for our conversation. Anti-money laundering laws and know your customer elements. This is to prevent money laundering. And you realize that it is an established element. It's a medium priority, but we think that largely across the continent, we have a lot of regulations that we can tap into in applying to the same concept of a tokenized market. We have a tax framework element. It's about defining tax obligations through this. It's an emerging conversation in that market, even though in places like South Africa and Mauritius, they have a high level of engagement. But we will discuss Nigeria, Rwanda, Ghana, and look at how the growth margins of tax revenue elements of this is being dealt with for tokenized conversations. Now, if you go to the next slide. Next slide, please. So we're talking about the African jurisdictional landscape, progressive versus conservative approaches. Now, in South Africa, as I said, their regulatory dynamics for this very conversation is quite high. So they are about an 85% element. Mauritius is next with about a 78% market in terms of regulation. Ghana, we are having strong conversations, but we are not there yet. But because of the show of commitment, we can give about 68.5%. Nigeria have a large market size and potential for this. 58% works for them. Kenya, about 72% in there because of the established technology frameworks that allows us to build on that. But if you look at it, South Africa, comprehensive fintech regulations, established securities law. Mauritius have a blockchain-friendly legislation, international finance center element as well that supports them. In emerging markets, we have Nigeria have a large market potential as I've established there, and their evolving crypto regulation system also supports them. Ghana, we are the pro-strategy stage, so we also have it there. But most importantly, the opportunities for regional harmonization. ECOWAS has a common standards initiative. We need to have an SADC regulatory alignment project, as well as a Pan-African blockchain consortium. So these are how we can have conversations for the purpose of regional harmonization. Remember, this works where we can tap into the 54 African countries, our large population, and the high demand for infrastructure across the African continent. Next slide. This is a proposed implementation roadmap. We are saying that subject to commitment of stakeholders, this can start right from this year, from the third quarter or fourth quarter of this year. Okay, we can have legal recognition, establish blockchain technology, and smart contract legal validity. We can pilot programs, launch tokenization projects in progressive jurisdictions. Stakeholder engagement, very key, especially within the conversation of the diversity of African continent. That conversation ought to be had as well. And in terms of early 2026 to the second quarter, we are looking at security regulation conversations, defining token classification and offering requirements, property law updates, integrating digital ownership concepts in property law, platform standards. We are looking at establishing minimum standards for tokenization platforms. On the phase 3, we are looking at market expansion. So within the middle 2026 to end of 2026, we are looking at cross-border protocols, implementing mutual recognition agreements across the 54 countries, investor protection, deploying comprehensive consumer protection measures, market infrastructure, establishing regulated secondary markets as well. Now, on the final phase, what we are looking at is regional integration. And we'll explain why we propose a gradual approach to regional integration, looking at how complex the continent is. You don't want to jump straight into all jurisdictions, but look at where there is acceptability, start that piloting there, and see how you can expand same. So, harmonize standards, achieve regional regulatory alignment within the target markets, enable seamless cross-border real estate investment, and then global integration, allowing for global integration as a conversation. So essentially, we are thinking about 3 pilots. If you can go down for me, IT guy. So we're talking about, not that down, please. Kindly go back. Kindly go to the previous slide. Kindly scroll down for me. Yes. So phase 1, 3 pilots, targeting about $10 million in tokenized assets. Phase 2, 10 projects, about $100 million. Phase 3, 50 projects. So it's about a gradual approach that ensures that there is confidence in the system, that ensures that we have had a regulatory review that safeguards investors in the market as well. Next slide, please. So, risk management and compliance. Key areas: technology risk, smart contract vulnerabilities, market risks, price volatility, and liquid challenges, legal risk element as well. Now, the element is that there are challenges that we have to look at. And in assessing these very elements, there is a need for a compliance framework that addresses same. So we are looking at a multi-layered KYC verification process, so that it is not just a one-step element, but multiple layers of verification that safeguards the investor and safeguards the market as well. We are talking about having real-time transaction monitoring. It means that the regulators must have a system in place that ensures that the monitoring is effective and it is one that safeguards investors on the market broadly. We are talking about regular platform audits, investor suitability assessment as well. You don't just jump into it. We assess investors to make sure that there's a compatibility between investors and the market they are invested in or the product access, and whether the investors themselves have developed enough confidence to be part of that very market. All right? So these are challenges and stories that surely looks at the potential of this model on the African continent. The slide will be available after the presentation. Hit me up and I'll surely share same with you. Next slide, please. Now, we are looking at the economic impacts and market opportunities. We are talking about $19.4 billion in global tokenized markets by 2033. We are talking about 2.5 million new investment potential, basically. 5 million people, essentially. Okay, and as at 2024, that was the level of potential that existed. Imagine what the potential will be once the legal framework is quite advanced. All right, so if we look at the elements as well, what this does is that we are democratizing real estate. Because essentially, you allow for multiple ownership stakes in our infrastructure. There was a reason why, within the history of the democracy or governance, owners of land were the people who had the right to vote, essentially. What it means is that your ability to own real estate gives you a stay in the democratic process. I am of the opinion that when interest groups own assets in multiple jurisdictions, it has a dire impact on even the tendency for war between different nations. Because when my investments are in country A and country B, and I'm a part of the decision-making process in country B, right, what happens then is that I am restrained in supporting any form of engagement that destroys my assets in the other country. So that when we promote a level of ownership of capital and infrastructure in multiple jurisdictions, it means that in jurisdiction A, parties, all right, promote the agenda where they let their countries deal fairly and openly with other jurisdictions as far as it supports and defends their interests in those very countries. And that is why it's important that that democratization is highly discussed. Now, if we look at the economic benefits element, Mr. IT guy, I think my slides have disappeared. So we are looking at a 30% growth in the construction sector. We are looking at about a 25% growth in the financial services sector. We are looking at a 45, next slide. Next one. Next slide, please. Next. Oh, sorry, no, economic impact should be slide number 10, please. Yes. So in the tech space, we are looking at a 45% growth in technology and real estate. We are looking at a 20% legal services growth. For us lawyers, this is very good for us in that regard. So if you look at the impact assessment, real estate alone, once it is transitioned to this model, allows for a geometric growth for all stakeholders, and we need to embrace this very model. Next slide, please. Now, the technology legal integration framework. So we need to have legal agreements in principle then those legal agreements will transition to smart contracts, regulatory compliance within the legal framework, and of course, automated execution in principle. So that is the emergence of the legal framework, the tech element, and how it can be sustained there. Now, if you look at the legal tech integration layers, the constitutional layer, which will deal with the property rights in principle within the confines of Article 18 of the Constitution of Ghana, for example. We need to look at that. We're talking about the statutory layer and the securities regulations and the real estate regulations. We need to modify our Lands Act to allow for tokenized ownership of real estate or digital assets within our Lands Act in principle. We're talking about the regulatory layer, platform licensing. How do we license the platform within the Bank of Ghana regulations to ensure that it is acceptable in principle? We are talking about a technical layer, smart contracts, blockchain protocols being addressed within the legal framework. Next, please. So, in terms of global case studies, right, I'm focused on the success factor analysis, all right, and even the African pilot opportunities right there. All right, it's about the potential for office buildings in Lagos, in Cape Town. We're talking about opportunities for residential projects in Accra and Nairobi, Kenya. We're talking about potential for infrastructure and student housing, healthcare facilities. So what it means is that whereas an investor or a real estate owner has to wait for years to get buyers of their projects, within a day, within a week, we can have 100,000 people putting together $100 each to own an entire property in its different parts. That is how you can mobilize the power of Africa's population and Africa's resources for common ownership within the jurisdiction. And we're talking about 50% reduction in transaction costs, $50 minimum investment, because you can own a token or equity value for as low as $50. All right, so essentially, this allows for a progressive element of participation within the real estate market. Now, next, please. Strategic recommendations. For regulators, our recommendation is about establishing regulatory sandboxes, developing blockchain-specific legislation, creating cross-border cooperation frameworks, investing in regulatory technology. For industry players, we need to pilot this tokenization on selected projects. And we're talking about, for investors, the need to participate in as lawyers as well. All right, and for priority actions, our suggestion is that if stakeholders adopt this within the space of 12 months, we should form multi-stakeholder working groups, launch pilot projects in 3 to 5 jurisdictions, develop model legal frameworks, create investor education programs, establish industry standards. And this, we are confident that within our timeline of this year to 2027, with focus, we can really get this going and this really done. Now, last slide. So, this is Amara's story in 2030. Amara, the teacher whom at the beginning of the slides, we mentioned that she earns about $4,500 annually. This is her condition now. Amara's phone buzzes, and she receives a dividend of over $1,000 from her tokenized real estate portfolio. It tells Amara that your Lagos office building just secured a new 5-year tenancy with a monthly income now exceeding your teaching salary by over 340%. Now, the teacher who changed everything, what happens? Amara then puts down her phone and looks at her grade 7 mathematics class. Who can tell me what exponential growth means? She asks with a smile. Hands shoot up across the room, not just from her students, but from children whose parents now own pieces of buildings across Africa because Amara has inspired a movement. The ripple effect. That evening, Amara opens her teacher's real estate collection app. Over 127,000 educators across 28 African countries now own tokenized real estate worth $2.8 billion. The notification streaming, new property tokenized in Kigali, dividend from Dakar apartment complex, voting proposal for Accra shopping center renovation, the global impact, and she prepares a lesson for tomorrow, blockchain mathematics, how smart contracts calculate property ownership. Amara reflects on the journey. The legal frameworks we build today didn't just enable tokenization, they democratized wealth creation for an entire continent. And that is the story of Amara, and that can be the story of over 250 million Africans if we start the journey today. This is our legacy as Africans, and we must embrace same. Thank you.
Please let's acknowledge him once again. Thank you so much. These are very gray areas, and we'd like to acknowledge the organizers for introducing these gray areas into the industry. And with no time, I'm sure next year when we come, tokenization in real estate will become a big thing in this part of the continent, and then hopefully we'll be making some great gains in that regard. We have just 2 more speakers left. 2 more speakers. But before that, just a quick announcement. If you want to join in the tour tomorrow, there's a tour tomorrow, so do well to see James. Is James around? You can see James, or you can see Manuel, or any of the team members. Do well to see them. Or the gentleman in the blue round neck behind, see him. If you want to join the tour tomorrow, there's an interesting tour happening tomorrow. It's going to be fun. The first timers in Ghana, do well to explore Ghana. It's a beautiful place. And so see James, note down your name, and the necessary arrangements will be made. Also, those of us who had the lunch coupon, unfortunately, we were not able to have lunch because lunch was over. Please do well to see Manuel behind, and he would sort things out for you. Our last but one speaker is going to join us virtually. And so we would shift our attention to the screen once again and listen to the CEO of Real Estate Standard Organization, RESO, in the person of Mr. Sam Debord. If we could have his recording playing now, please.
CEO of Real Estate Standard. Hello, everyone. My name is Sam Debord, and I am CEO of Real Estate Standards Organization. I'm excited to be here to be able to present with you at the Africa Real Estate Conference and Expo. Really looking forward to be able to visit you someday in person. I even went as far as getting my visa to Ghana, but I haven't been able to make the schedule work yet. So hopefully in the near future to see you at the event. Thank you for giving us the time to speak to you a little bit about what we do at RESO for your technology. And I want to talk a little bit about background and why that would be important to you, no matter what your role is in the real estate industry. So RESO is an open standards body. We create technology standards that allow systems to talk to each other. You're already familiar with open standards if you've worked with any of these kinds of technologies you see here on the screen today. Bluetooth for moving information between hardware systems, PDF for moving documents around between different people and organizations, USB for connecting systems and information, and Wi-Fi, which we use to, again, connect systems and information so that your devices can talk to each other and deliver that information. What you may not know is that all of these open standards are run by open standards organizations, or what we call standards bodies. So there's an organization that runs Bluetooth, and it brings all the technology companies together different competitors who come together and build that Bluetooth standard, that language that allows your headphones to talk to your phone. Wi-Fi is the same. There's an open standards body organization that brings all the big technology companies, your Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Google, any of the big companies you work with who use Wi-Fi will want to say in building that standard, will want to say in building that technology language that makes all systems connect. So that's what we do at RESO. We create standards for real estate data. We help your data connect across borders, across markets, across businesses, because we want your real estate data to get from the agent who's working with a home seller or buyer, to get to the brokerage, to get to a multiple listing service, into a portal, a website, and even consumer apps. And RESO creates that open technology language so those systems can talk to each other. You're familiar with a lot of open standards already. The internet itself is just a stack of open standards. You've got networking standards at the core. You've got standards as to how you build websites and web pages. You've got standards as how those are styled, how they connect with one another. Now, why do we need these sort of standards in a marketplace for real estate? Well, we want to be able to move inventory. You're all involved in moving inventory in a real estate marketplace. And transparent marketplaces move inventory faster. Transparency in a marketplace is built on rules. You can think about a real estate market just like a stock market. A stock market has licenses for the people who can sell, for the kinds of products they can sell, for the kind of information they're required to share with you. And because people trust those marketplaces with those rules and those standards for the marketplace, they can transact more frequently and with more trust, and it becomes a stronger marketplace. And that's part of what we provide to a real estate marketplace. And you know what that looks like without these kinds of rules. When there aren't rules and standards in a marketplace for real estate, we see the same listing listed 3 times at 3 different prices on the same website. It may have never been a listing. It may be a duplicate. It may be outdated. There may not even really be a broker. These might just be a bunch of advertisements. Because without the rules in the marketplace to make sure we've got accurate data and real listings, we provide this experience to consumers, which is not a good experience. And it's important because of the value of the real estate market that you work in, because it's a $30 trillion annual transaction volume market. It's important that we can build trust and standards into that marketplace so we can move information between different companies across regions, across borders, across countries, and everyone can trust that information in this $600 trillion value market. What you're looking for, no matter where you work in the industry, is to simplify things, make them streamlined, make them accurate. So we can do transaction after transaction, even at a quicker pace, because all of the parties involved know they're working with the same information. They all understand they can trust the information that they're working with so that they can work with their consumers, their customers, their brokers, their developers, and give them that with the confidence that they've got the right kind of information. RESO started as an American organization. As you probably may have heard, we have 500 MLSs in the US. We've really needed an ability to move data and communicate between MLS systems. But today, we have members in over 30 countries because our standards are not bound by one country or one language. You're going to have local idiosyncrasies in your market. You're going to have legal differences. You're going to have language and cultural differences in your markets. But data standards can flow underneath any of those marketplaces to create that foundational support so that we can move information accurately when you do need to do cross-border and cross-market transactions. We have a lot of new members who've been joining RESO recently. Folks at the Ghana Real Estate Professionals Association are just one of those groups coming from Accra to be a part of RESO. We've got new members in Delhi, in Brussels, Paris, Dubai and Abu Dhabi, Kamloops, Duncan, Ottawa, Stockholm, Toronto, Dublin. It's really becoming a global phenomenon because we do business across borders, because we need quality information to move across borders. And that has an impact. In the United States, we've been doing this for more than a decade now, and we've certified more than 90% of the MLS organizations to make sure that they can transfer that information correctly, accurately, and give comprehensive data to all the folks working in their real estate market. This is the trust that we provide because we do certifications. Certifications test the systems and the data in a multiple listing service or a brokerage or a technology vendor to make sure they comply with the standards. We run about 1 million tests on an average MLS system, test 100,000 property records to make sure the customers can trust that system, that it'll comply with the standards. So we invite you as this global growth opens up. This September, we'll be having our 3rd International MLS Forum in Toronto. The first 2 were in Paris and Milan. And we've had over 50 countries represented at these events to take part in them, to share in the networking and the knowledge building across borders. Next year, we will have the same event hosted in Abu Dhabi, so we'd love to see you there as well. Whatever your role is in the industry, maybe you're a sales agent, maybe you're a broker, maybe you're an appraiser, maybe you're a government assessor, you might be a new construction developer, even just a consumer looking at homes online. Everyone gets value from quality information. Everyone's experience is better when they all take part in this process of having standards and rules around the way we move real estate information and data. Thank you for letting RISO spend a little time with you here. I hope you have a great rest of your conference and expo. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at info@riso.org, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now to our final presenter. Well, we are looking forward to this very final one.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sam DeBoard, and I am CEO
Our final
of Real Estate
presenter
Standards Organization. I'm excited to...
is going to be speaking on strategic innovation through integration. Strategic innovation through integration. And of course, he needs a lot of morale and, emotional support, because being the last speaker in a virtually empty room needs a lot of, emotional and psychological support. But our last speaker for the day is the founder of Efie Aesthetics Realty. He is speaking on strategic innovation through integration, and he is our very good friend, Kojo Otu Entry. Let's welcome him, please. Thank you so much.
Good evening, and thank you for being here. I think my presentation is on PropTech, and we've had such a wonderful speaking session for all these 2 days. We've had people from all PropTech backgrounds. We've had a lot of PropTech innovations. We've had a lot of PropTech industries. We've had industry players. We've had agents. We've had people from the technical background. So what I'm going to do very quickly is just to consolidate all this in a very, very, very short presentation. So can we start? Okay, so Ghana PropTech Association is a sister association to GREPA, Ghana Real Estate Professionals Association. And we came together with Lady Vicky, who's been doing absolutely wonderful work for this organization. Now, there's a lot of technology behind the real estate industry. There's a lot of things powering the real estate industry that is moving it into the next level. So we need to be able to consolidate all these players into one space that we can be able to move the resources that we need. Because we have legacy systems that have been existing for so long that are stuck in the previous century. How do we move these properties, these investments into the next age where we have technology, where we have AI? So that is the thing that the PropTech Association wants to do. And if my slides are not ready, I'll go through them here. So my subtopic was strategic integration, Africa's PropTech imperative. We have things that we think that when we talk of innovation, we have to bring in new ideas. We are not Silicon Valley yet. We don't have the budget of Silicon Valley. But we can adopt some of these technologies that we've had. Examples that I'll give you is like Uber. Uber built a technology on an existing industry, which was the transport infrastructure. We already had cars existing. So it was easy for that technology to be implemented on the Uber. We have Airbnb. Airbnb is technology that was implemented on existing buildings. So it doesn't matter where your building is, you can attract value by adding technology to it. So instead of us thinking about going into new industries where we have to break ground and have huge investments, we can think about the African context, the African culture, the systems that we have here, and then build technology that connects into these existing industries that we have. In that way, the technology will give you value now, instead of thinking about going through a process of incubation to do it for a long time. Some of the things that you can do with this strategic integration are, you can have cost effectiveness, because you are not starting the thing from scratch. You have accelerated adoption. When you come to a technology that we have, like Airbnb, Airbnb was able to move into so many countries because it was a technology that was going on top of existing industries. We can unlock talent and value in Africa, because we have people in this industry who are connected to this market and they know exactly what is going on around us. You use the value that we have here to develop the things that are going on here. We've had a lot of sessions about things like IoT, where you have smart homes. We all know the problems that we have in Ghana when it comes to ECG. Our lights are always going off. But how are we using the electricity that we have now effectively? If I have a smart home system in my house, I can be able to tell that, okay, I use this amount of electricity in a day, I can cut it off like this, I can have value in this way. Most of us have had this problem of, did I leave my iron on or off? If you have a smart home system, you can be able to turn that plug off. So it's about using the technologies to solve our existing problems. When we talk of affordable housing has a concept that we've used, that we've seen, that is not working. But if we consolidate the information that we have of people here who need affordable housing, we have people in a sector who are already working, who are already creating value. The Accountant General's Office is paying about 5 million Ghanaians. These are people that we already have existing in this industry. So how do we leverage on that data? How do we talk to people who own lands? Instead of buying these lands, we can talk to them and have joint venture agreements with them and build upon them and add more value. So these are some of the things that I want to discuss. And also, we can harness the unique landscape for PropTech. When you go to a lot of industries in Ghana, we have a lot of places that we have rural areas. And we are thinking of, oh, let's break them down and rebuild them. But how do we create value in these places where people already live? If you look at Dubai extensively, there are places in Dubai that were not broken and rebuilt. They kept the cultural context and they developed upon it. Why do people come to Africa? When people are coming to Africa from the diaspora, why do they come? They come because they want to be part of Africa. They come because they want to be part of the cultural context. So if we are breaking the whole of Africa and we are building a new New York, what are we going to be selling? What is the selling point of the industry here? So we have to be able to look at all those things dynamically and play a role where Africa speaks for itself. I'll go on to say that we have to build a holistic framework, which is one of the key takeaways that we can take from this PropTech conference. We've had people from so many industries, but then it looks as if everybody is playing their own role in their own small way. The Ghana PropTech Association is looking at consolidating everyone's resource, everyone's technology, because everything that we have, we know it starts with data, and it's built from there. If an investor is coming into this industry, he is looking at his return on investment. Where can he get that data? He can get them from real estate agents, real estate developers. Who are the people that these developers work with, and how do they connect? So I think we need to be able to put together all these resources and all these technologies to be able to create an association and an industry that is very robust, that has all the data that you need when you come to this industry. It is the gateway to Africa when it comes to property information and technology systems that are being implemented. I think I wanted to show one image, but then probably we can't show it. But Dubai has just invested $1.4 billion into their PropTech industry because they have data, because it's attractive to invest in Dubai, because they have the professionals who are ready to work with the clients. So, exactly, we have our mother here who has a property in Dubai, because Dubai is attractive. So let's make sure that our biggest takeaway from this conference is that we put together all these serious and excellent information that we've gotten here into one space that we can all benefit from. I'll tell you a little bit about the association and what we want to do. We want to be able to develop resources from all industries, from schools, from research institutions, from government, from the legal people, from the GREPA, from every industry that is playing in this industry, so that we can use that data to be able to access the whole world and then communicate with them on how to come into this industry and be successful. I think I've done the best that I can do looking at the room that I have. I thank all the people who are staying here and paying attention. I'm very, very, very grateful to have this opportunity, and thank you once more.
The last man standing came with a bang. It was indeed worth the wait. Thank you so much, Kojo. Thanks for that great presentation. Well, guess what, folks? We are just about wrapping up. It's been an amazing conference for the year 2025. Please acknowledge yourselves once again. You've been a great team. Right from participants to speakers, to panelists, to moderators, to support staff, the technical team, to everyone who has made this year's event possible. We would want to say thank you. But that is not my job to do. A well-qualified person will be mounting the podium and will be joining me and giving the official vote of thanks remarks. Please let us welcome Mr. James Kwashi, I beg your pardon, Mr. James Kwashi, who will be giving us the vote of thanks. Please let's welcome him. Ably supported by K.
You have the first.
Okay, hi everyone. So a lot of you guys, I've spoken to some of you, not all of you, but my name is,
Hello.
Oh. Okay, so yes, I've not spoken to all of you, but I've spoken to a few of you. My name is Kay. I have very much enjoyed the art conference. This is my first year in attendance, but of course, Madam Vicky has been raving about it for the past 5 years. You came here for knowledge, and I hope if you left with knowledge, even if it was just one person, one panelist or speaker or exhibitionist who inspired you to do more in your field, who made you feel empowered to go and work for what you love, then our job has been done. You know, I had a chance to work with our media team and marketing team mainly, and you must have seen me running around, you know, here and there. But a big shout out to the ones who are sitting in the back, the ones who've been working on this for months now, James, Desmond, Jeremiah, where is, oh, he's right here. Jerry, we call him manager, but, also Manuel, and of course, Lady V, Madam Vicky, Victoria Sampa, whatever you want to call her, the team has been working overtime to make this what it is. Oh, and Ronald too, I'm so sorry. And Akosia, there you are. I'm forgetting names. But yes, I said Manuel. Oh. I'm sorry, I can't see. Chairman, I said him, yes, chairman, but yes. So many people, and obviously people who I haven't named, that different people on different boards, GREPA, Parliament, everybody has come together to make this what it is. The sponsors, thank you. I'm going to start speaking now so Jeremiah can give his closing prayer, but this has been a wonderful event. Let's give ourselves a round of applause.
Everyone say, we appreciate you all. We love you all. Today might be the last day for the Africa Conference, the Africa Real Estate Conference 2025. But it marks the beginning of the journey towards Africa Real Estate Conference 2026. So we look forward to having you there. As we end this, we are opening a new chapter. Can we kindly rise and pray? Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for your grace and your blessing that has been made available from the beginning to now. We thank you for all that have been part of this gathering. We pray that we are not leaving the same way we came. Let us see progress. Let there be testimonies of transformation. Let every participant come back next year with a testimony of impact. We believe that your strength is in this nation. We pray for all participating nations. And we pray that the hand of the Lord will be upon us all. May your businesses blossom. May the Lord favor you. May the Lord keep you. May he lift up the light of his countenance over you. And may the Lord bless you now and forever. Amen.
All right, thank you so much, Jeremiah, and of course, Kay. What an incredible lineup we have had today, from smart cities to AI, and of course, from tokenization to tech, and how demonstrations have held and showcased bold ideas which have turned into real-world solutions across Africa's real estate landscape. Thank you to every one of you for making this possible. We'd like to say a very big thank you to the support team as well. Like I keep saying, you guys are the real MVPs. And of course, to Lady Vicky, the visionary behind this great convening. God bless you. Thank you so much. My name is Pamela Kosa, and like I always say, I really do hope I earned the pleasure of your time within this last 2 days. Do well to check me out on all my socials. It is Pamela Boateng on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, across all platforms. And let us keep the conversation going. Remember, it is hashtag #ACT2025. Thank you so much. I wish you all safe travels back to your homes and to your various countries. We will be back again next year. It's going to be bigger, better, and more impactful. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.